All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Faulty Effects. This is Tim bringing you another exciting tutorial. I'm not exactly sure how exciting it's going to be. It is rotoscoping, which is probably hands down the worst visual effects thing that you could do. It is not fun at all. That being said, let's go ahead and just dive right into this. So, there's a couple different ways to roto somebody out, and the first one we're going to use is with the pen tool right up here. We're just going to create a mask over her and let it mask out the background basically. So with the layer selected that you want to put the mask on, make sure it's selected, and then you start placing points all the way around her. This is a piece of footage that I had gotten from YouTube under the Creative Commons section. If you want more information about how to find the Creative Commons section, feel free to leave it in the comments and I will show you guys how to find it. I am going to go ahead and fast forward this so you don't have to sit through me clicking and clicking. Alright, and that is basically it as far as getting a rough roto out of it. So now we want to adjust these paths here. So we go ahead and hit the A key. No, that's Photoshop. What am I talking about? Alright, we're going to use the V key. And we can zoom in here and start bringing these closer in. Get rid of as much of this green as possible. Like I said, it doesn't necessarily have to be perfect. You can feather it and everything like that. But you really do want the majority of it gone. And this version of rotoscoping definitely takes a while to do. You start going over hands and stuff, you need a whole lot of different points in there. I'm going to go ahead and add a couple. Hit V again to go back to the move tool. Gotta love it when you don't add enough points. Okay, there we go. That's basically it right there. Now you can go under here, mask settings, mask feather right here. You can kind of feather it in or whatever you're wanting to do. Alright, so that's basically it. And you would go through and kind of jump through the timeline, and you see how she's moving. You have to go through and change each point. I usually just kind of try to grab a bunch at a time, and then that happens. Most infuriating thing ever. Okay, that's if you double click. So when you're trying to do that, beware of that. And it would also help if you go in here and add keyframes, because I forgot to do that. So if I go back here to the beginning, you see that it's all out of place. So I once again have to go back and move these back around and get them back to where they should be. I try to use this version of rotoscoping as little as possible. It is very time consuming, as you can tell. So the other option that you have, let's go ahead and duplicate this, hitting Control D. Under masks, I'm going to go ahead and just delete that mask. And rename that one Roto 1, Roto 2. Alright, so another easier way that you could use to rotoscope would be the Roto brush, which is right here. But this does not like to do it on just the on the normal composition. You actually have to double click the video file so that it comes up with the video file here just as it is here. And you would kind of use the brush here. You can adjust the size of the brush by holding Control and then click and dragging. And then you can drag over her. And you can see it made a pretty good selection. Minus a little bit there. Kind of skipped over her hair here. I'm not too concerned with that though. And if you look right here, I wish I could zoom in on it. But it kind of creates like little arrows and a dot. So the dot is where you started it from. And if you move the timeline down a little bit, it will go through and kind of try to predict how she's moving. Well, not necessarily predict, but it'll follow the edges for her moving and that type of thing. With this, it's going to go pretty easy, but if you have footage that isn't on a green screen or anything like that, the background can kind of have like the same color as the character, so it will mix and sometimes add selections that shouldn't be added, so just kind of beware of that. So if we scroll back through here, you can see that it kind of goes right along with her hands. That's really the only movement that she does with her hands. And if you really want to get in here and get these fine details in the hair and everything like that, you can actually go up to right here, Roto brush, select and hold it, and refine edge. And then you can actually paint the edge all the way around her there. And now whatever's black or whatever's white will be part of the mask, and whatever's black won't. So now if we move this forward again, add that little area right there. And it's doing a pretty good job of rotoscoping for us here. But right there, see her phone goes out of it. So what you would do is you would go back up here, go back to Roto brush, and just select that. And if you hit not control, but alt and click, that will actually take away from the selection. Oh, there was still part of it there that was missing. Right there. So rotoscoping is just a very time-consuming kind of thing. You kind of get the gist of what is going on here, what you got to do, and if you get a roto that you like, you can hit freeze. It will try and do the whole area that you have selected. Once it's done with that, I'll be back. Alright, and we're back. It just finished, and as it was going, I saw some areas that it didn't necessarily get done so well. So you would have to actually go through and fix everything, but with it being frozen like this, you can't actually alter it. So you'd have to unfreeze it, go back, alter it, and then refreeze it again. And then from here you can add a background to this. Go over here, add that. And you can kind of see how that's working. Alright, on to the next one that I personally like. And let's scale this up, kind of fill it there. That looks better. Okay, so the one that I actually like doing, I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this first one again. Got Roto 3 going on. Go back in here, delete the mask. So we got this green screen around here. So if I hit Control Space for my Video Copilot FX console and type in key light, I just have to type in key. Look, it's right there. So I hit this, hit the eyedropper, tap the background. It basically does everything for you. Including gets all of that hair there that kind of went off all kinds of crazy. And if for some reason it's not looking the way that it should, you can alter the gain and the balances and that type of thing until you get it looking the way you want it to look. There we go. I'm just going to leave it with the default. And that is rotoscoping, green screening, and using the roto brush and everything like that. Kind of an overview of all of those to get you guys started. If you have any questions or anything like that, feel free to leave them in the comments, and I will definitely read them and get back to you. Alright, thanks for watching.
But only if you help. Just by clicking that button down there, you can make a difference in one man with way too big of an ego. You can make his head just swell a little bit larger, and his heart will be exactly the same.